Yeah, stop that. I mean,
Yeah.
we're listening to mainstream news on Revolution Radio. You're hurting people's tones. How dare you?
We're just
Hello.
waiting for him to walk out. I
I
got the
know, I
one bit
know.
on the left.
It's all filler, so we're waiting for the president to actually make a statement. But
Right.
instead of killing people through boredom, let's just say this is Planet Collingwood Open Round Table. It's our election night special, and there's 19 people on the call, so my YouTube description is going to be huge. Big thank you for everyone for the last 2 hours and so on and to the end, because we don't know when the president is going to walk out, so I may drop at any moment. Send money, and I mean that with love. There you go. Revolution Radio, we're 100% listener supported. This is Planet Collingwood Open Round Table. The next 2 hours are going to be comedic because if you've seen the insanity of the world, it's just so much easier to deal with shit. Crap, sorry. I've been watching Stephen Crowder for 4 hours and I've been drinking wine. So, yeah, I'm trying to hold myself in check. We'll get to that a bit later. So, this may sound a little bit frantic, and that is because the Don, the big man, has waited till Planet Collingwood is on air to actually do a speech / comment, which he did 4 years ago as well. So I'm just making it all about me, and why not? Oh, no, that's just a guy. No, that was just a security guard. See, that's what we're so excited. It's like, oh, that's someone who will take a bullet for the president. Or maybe not. So just a quick roll call. Who is on the call at this point in time?
Well, hey, comments here. Hey, Monty, I didn't know this was your call, bro. I called in on Tones. I didn't know I was calling on your round table. I hope you didn't mind, but yeah, I've never seen a round table with 19 people on it though before. That's
no, the plan was because Tones is much smarter than me. I just make the funny. He does everything else like that, and yeah. Basically, it was just easier to add me to this call, and I take the standard of Revolution Radio for the next 2 hours. So you're most welcome. I've got new callers, so like, oh goody, yay! Not that my past guests are all boring, but there you go.
Yeah, I appreciate being on here, brother. I'll kick back and let the rest of them come in.
Anyone can chime in. Yeah, everyone chime in when you can. Just a little bit of respect. Let's not be politicians about this. So be polite, and we will get across the board because everyone's viewpoint is valid. And I'm an Australian, so I'm an outsider. And this TV show is really good. I mean, you thought it was the last episode, but no, it just keeps going and going and going.
Right. Well, this is 808, and what started off as a landslide has turned into a nail biter. We just don't know, and we certainly hope our president wins. But
a mudslide that's dried up.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's the worst when you're going down a water slide and they turn the water off on you.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting enough, the comedian Nicole Arbour, who's from Canada and she moved to the States, she did tweet in the last couple of hours. The only good thing that we can see out of all of this is that there are protesters wandering the streets, wondering wondering what to be angry about. Because it's like, well, who won? We don't know. And all these pallets have turned up. Have you seen that there's brick pallets have turned up? And I did see a wing of Antifa where they're just fighting the system. They F Donald Trump, F Joe Biden, no more governments. And of course, there was only a small group, and that news didn't take traction. So yeah, it's we're finally here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank the loving spaghetti monster. Oh, it's so tiring.
Cheers to you, Monty, and the next 2 hours and the handful of what's going to ensue over after he comes out and says what he has to say on the streets. Hopefully, we have a calm night and go into the morning somewhat peaceful. That aside, just want to give a big thanks to first off Willow for putting together the early portion of the evening, which was Mitchell kicking off the election night on his show, and then Nick Pierson taking his spot there and keeping the simulcast going, and bringing in Olly and the crew from the UK, adding both from the Daily Chaos show and Wake Up UK. It was pretty good stuff there until we ran into some technical difficulties, but Those guys really kept pushing along, and then Why Not and Scott, they sacrificed their slot tonight on the round table, basically to give up this long night here with the election. Very kind of all of the hosts and management to put this together for the listening audience. Hope the listening audience has had as much fun as we've had on our side here. It's been quite a wild ride. On the call still, Monty, you have Cortek, it looks like, has joined. Hey, Cortek, what's up, man?
Hey, Tom.
Hey, buddy. Comet, Gerr, John from Australia is on. Olly's still on the call, but I don't know if he can hear us or we can hear him. It's kind of strange. The mechanic, myself, and then we had a bunch of other people from earlier on that you can go check that might pop up and back in. But big thanks to everyone who's previously on the call and how many hours they've already put into this this evening. Quite impressive. So
and very thank you to just step in there and take the talking stick from the Mighty Tones. Thank you for all the work that you do, because you know how to code and you do all that stuff, and I know you're sort of blushing and let me gush. You're kind of good at what you do. That's an Australian way of going, you are the best thing that I've seen in reality. Yeah, you're all right, mate. You know what I'm saying?
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
So you should get recognition as well, because you're in the trenches, you're doing the hard yards. It took you over an hour and 40 minutes to vote. And as an Australian, like, really?
Yeah, what an experience that was today. Right, man. Thanks you. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, well, I can understand. It took you an hour and 40 minutes just to, fill out some form. Like, 3, 4, 6, really? Do I get a booby prize? Do I get a T-shirt? This is Planet Collingwood, and it is a comedic bent type of show. And I'll give an example. Those free bricks that are being shown around, have popped up over major cities. I'm guessing probably democratic cities or in democratic states. That's all part of Nintendo's new game called Mario Kart Antifa Edition. That's going to be released very soon. So they're just doing some motion caption where you do some races and 400 skinny soy boy people wrapped in plastic and in black throw bricks at you. So a bit of research going on as you're multitasking. That's what I'm saying.
Kind of like one of those Japanese game show vibes.
Oh, yeah, I think Cortek's just nailed it. So what was the election like? Have you ever seen those Japanese game shows? It is quite interesting. Like here in Victoria, or the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, our ABC. Oh, there's a lot of people coming out. So unless that's Hunter Biden's party.
Hey, hold on. This is it. This is it, people.
No.
I heard somebody say, "This is it. This is it, people." Who's that?
Yeah.
I see a curtain moving. I see a little curtain.
Yeah. Well, 6 people came out, and unless it's Hunter Biden having a party, because it's election night, he'll probably celebrate it. After the president does his speech comment, we have a lot to unpack, and that's even before we get to the state of play in the election, where Fox News came out and said, we've counted 3 votes and Biden wins, and everyone's like, what are you doing? You stupid. So there is it's going to be a lot of chicanery basically unfolding. I don't think we'll find out tonight. It'll be interesting because it is a very close call. Now, this is even just if it's a fair election where everyone's voted and it's counted properly. We haven't even gotten to the whole sort of, the Revolution Radio conspiracy lens.
Right.
Who else is on? I know Ger's on. I heard Gerr earlier.
There's a bunch of people on.
Yeah, Monty, how are you, mate?
John, do you enjoying your freedom in New South China? I mean, Victoria.
Oh, well, yes. I'm about, I believe, on the 23rd of November, I'm allowed to travel up to some of the farms.
Oh, nice. Good.
Well, I see it on Skype and, video, but, well, dude, I don't know, it's election night, and you guys are looking at these maps. If certain stuff is set, and at the moment I'm looking at New York Post, but through Australian news. And if you look at the states that are set and indisputable, will not be disputed, and what's left and who's in front, it's impossible for the Democrats to win. So unless the whole thing is just a giant game, which is a possibility, maybe just part of the simulation, none of it makes any sense.
Yes, I was writing their names down. I'm about halfway through because I did that.
Okay, who's on the call? There's a lot.
Well, it's like there's so many people on the call. I'm just the only one talking. The Biden landslide's got out the window because it's mathematically impossible. There was a Trump tweet censored on Twitter because they're trying to steal the election, and so I think we're getting to the saucy bit. So it'll be interesting to see which Trump we get and what level of he's like, if he's tired or he's frustrated. I tried to watch the Joe Biden speech that he gave, but I was on watching Stephen Crowder, and YouTube cut their stream. And it's like, really? Halfway through Joe Biden's speech, you think that's not going to upset people? But all I remember is Joe said, I'm really tired, so you guys, I'm going to bed, so you guys continue on out without me. And yeah, anyone else want to chime? Because we're, dear listener, we are in a holding pattern because at any moment the President of the United States will walk out onto stage, and so we can't really delve deep into subjects as yet because it'll be cut off.
You're talking about a competent performer, and I use that as a respectful way. He knows how to play an act. He may keep you waiting for quite some time.
Yeah, because I think it was around about 45 minutes ago, President Trump will be speaking shortly, and oh, cool, I'll get that in the next 20 minutes, and I'll watch that and go on air. 45 minutes later, still waiting. So, I mean, he is a bit of a showmanship, and that's his type of thing. What I do find now, this is just a personal thing, one reason I want Donald Trump to win is just to watch all the unhinged leftists to lose their collective minds in break down and just freak out, because they've started to do that because it's a nail biter, so they're freaking out and they're projecting. Oh, that's what I was going to say. The ABC, they've been showing here in Australia that Biden got up to over 200 electoral votes in about 3 minutes. And ever since then, Trump has just clawed back with the things. At the moment, if anyone is not watching CNN, good on you, because it's CNN. But their projection or their tally at the moment is Biden is 220 votes and Trump is 213. And so it is getting close. However, there's Pennsylvania's in play. Depends when people actually call them as well, because Arizona technically hasn't been called. That was just Fox doing an early call, because I think there is over a million votes from postal votes or whatever it is like that. That's the other interesting thing as well. My brain's running really fast now, and there's too many ideas. Certain states they can count the electoral vote first and then get to the election day votes, or vice versa. And let's not have uniformity. Let's not figure this out. And so there's an element of chaos where they're jumping around. One thing that just came to mind as well was on the Crowder stream. They showed a bit of some guy talking in front of a big screen about a map, but he did say it looks like Biden is winning the popular vote, but that's not how we choose presidents. And that's kind of telling, ooh, wow, CNN sort of actually told, they went a bit journalistic and told the truth there.
Yeah, we can't have too much of that.
No, is it go around an informed public? Please.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it looked like earlier on Trump was on the roll, landslide, but things have kind of slowed down a bit.
Yeah, because now there's reports that I think in Georgia, which is also still in play. I know all these interesting terms now, which I'll forget for 4 years. I've decided too that when Australia and Victoria have votes, I'm having my own election thing on Revolution Radio, and you'll have to suffer with me, all right? Because
Oh,
fair.
I give you forewarning, when that time comes, Dan won't be around anymore. I've got a plan for him after we get over this US election.
Yeah, I've got to. Yeah. Well, no, Dan's just. There's so that could be just going to the hotel thing. Like, in short, like
Dude,
I'm gonna get.
You're old enough to remember Whitlam and Kerr.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're still part of the British Commonwealth Admiralty law. It can be done in Victoria, but I'll talk to you about it later.
Yes, yeah. For those playing at home, Australia has a constitution, as well as our state, Victoria, has a constitution. I don't think we use them, but we do have them. What I was going to say very quickly, there's reports in Georgia that some polling stations have stopped counting votes.
Yeah, Monty.
Yeah.
The one in let's see, where'd he go here? The Pittsburgh is paused ballot counting until in the morning in Pennsylvania. So we ain't gonna find out about Pennsylvania either.
Are people going to go through the night, or is it at the point where people might go to sleep, or are people just going to keep going and like this will just keep going?
They're not gonna count no more ballots till in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and also we've got we're talking about free and fair elections, so we don't know what's going on because like if you've stopped counting votes, why? Because it's an election, and we didn't know it would be like this. Yes, you effing did. It's been like this since since lockdown, and that's the other thing. That's the slight difference about it. I refuse to call it coronavirus. It's a personal thing. But since lockdown, it is. Nearly saw another security guard, but he went back in. Secret Service was it? Clint Eastwood? We don't know. With the lockdown, there's a lot of voting and postal votes and everything else like that. What I find weird is that there's an element of you can vote after the election. It's
looks like here we go.
It doesn't sound like a democracy. That's another group of people. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to wait till he gets to the podium. But we're watching.
That's the team.
That's the family. That's the family.
Family and the press.
Look. There's a couple of Jewish people there, so that really upsets the people that call Trump a Nazi because he's his son. Yeah.
And
what
the president says
do you
here,
get the audio, or do I need
projecting that he's going to win this race?
That's good.
Bring up the audio, and we're just crossing to a news network that we don't like, but that we're waiting for the president of the United States to walk in and go to the podium.
Hey, Trump.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please sit. Thank you. This is without question the latest news conference I've ever had. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. And I want to thank the American people for their tremendous support. Millions and millions of people voted for us tonight. And a very sad group of people is trying to disenfranchise that group of people. And we won't stand for it. We will not stand for it. I want to thank the First Lady, my entire family, and Vice President Pence, Mrs. Pence, for being with us all through this. And we were getting ready for a big celebration. We were winning everything, and all of a sudden it was just called off. The results tonight have been phenomenal, and we are getting ready. I mean, literally, we were just all set to get outside and just celebrate something that was so beautiful, so good, such a vote, such a success. The citizens of this country have come out in record numbers. This is a record. There's never been anything like it. To support our incredible movement, we won states that we weren't expected to win. Florida, we didn't win it. We won it by a lot. And
Yeah.
We won the great state of Ohio. We won Texas. We won Texas. We won Texas by 700,000 votes, and they don't even include it in the tabulations. It's also clear that we have won Georgia.
Yeah.
We're up by 2.5% or 117,000 votes with only 7% left. They're never going to catch us. They can't catch us. Likewise, we've clearly won North Carolina.
Yes.
Where we're up 1.4% or 77,000 votes with only approximately 5% left. They can't catch us. We also, if you look and you see Arizona, we have a lot of life in that. And somebody declared that it was a victory for, and maybe it will be. I mean, that's possible. But certainly there were a lot of votes out there that we could get because we're now just coming into what they call Trump territory. I don't know what you call it, but these were friendly Trump voters. And that could be overturned. The gentleman that called it, I watched tonight, he said, well, we think it's fairly unlikely that he could catch. Well, fairly unlikely. And we don't even need it. We don't need that. That was just a state that if we would have gotten it, it would have been nice, Arizona. But there's a possibility, maybe even a good possibility. In fact, since I saw that originally, it's been changed and the numbers have substantially come down just in a small amount of votes. So we want that obviously to stay in play. But most importantly, we're winning Pennsylvania by a tremendous amount of votes.
Yes.
We're up 600. Think of this. Think of this. Think of this. We're up 690,000 votes in Pennsylvania. 690,000. These aren't even close. It's not like, oh, it's close. With 64% of the vote in, it's going to be almost impossible to catch. And we're coming into good Pennsylvania areas where they happen to like your president. I mean, it's like very good. So we'll probably expand that. We're winning Michigan, but I'll tell you, I looked at the numbers. I said, whoa. I said, wow, that's a lot. By almost 300,000 votes. And 65% of the vote is in. And we're winning Wisconsin. So we're winning. We don't need all of them. We need, because when you add Texas in, which wasn't added, I spoke with the really wonderful governor of Texas just a little while ago, and Greg Abbott, he said, congratulations. He called me to congratulate me on winning Texas. I mean, we won Texas. I don't think they finished quite the tabulation, but there's no way. And it was almost complete, but he congratulated me. Then he said, by the way, what's going on? I've never seen anything like this. Can I tell you what? Nobody has. So we won by 107,000 votes with 81% of the vote. That's Michigan. So when you take those three states in particular, and you take all of the others, I mean, we have so many, we had such a big night. You just take a look at all of these states that we've won tonight, and then you take a look at the kind of margins that we've won them by. And all of a sudden, it's not like we're up 12 votes and we have 60% left. We won states, and all of a sudden, I said, what happened to the election? It's off. And we have all these announcers saying, what happened? And then they said, oh, because you know what happened? They knew they couldn't win. So they said, let's go to court. And did I predict this, Newt? Did I say this?
Yep,
I've been saying this from the day I heard they were going to send out tens of millions of ballots. I said exactly, because either they were going to win, or if they didn't win, they'll take us to court. So Florida was a tremendous victory, 377,000. Texas, as we said. Ohio, think of this. Ohio, a tremendous state, a big state. I love Ohio. We won by 8.1%, 461. Think of it. Almost 500,000 votes. North Carolina, big victory with North Carolina. And so we won there. We lead by 76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden, everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
Yeah.
So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list, okay? It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment, and we will win this, and we, as far as I'm concerned, we already have won it. So I just want to thank you, and I want to thank all of our support. I want to thank all of the people that worked with us, and Mr. Vice President, say a few words, please. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to join you in thanking more than 60 million Americans who have already cast their vote for 4 more years for President Donald Trump in the White House.
Yeah.
And while the votes continue to be counted, we're going to remain vigilant, as the President said. The right to vote has been at the center of our democracy since the founding of this nation, and we're going to protect the integrity of the vote. But I really believe with all of my heart, with the extraordinary margins, Mr. President, that you've inspired in the states that you just described, and the way that you launched this movement across the country to make America great again, I truly do believe, as you do, that we are on the road to victory, and we will make America great again. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much,
I feel like we've just won a wonderful contest. Now, he didn't say he won. He actually accepts the election. He said that in everything, apart from that.
He said he won. He said,
the election's been stopped.
Yeah, they stopped it because it wasn't going the way they wanted to do it. So now they want to go the legal route, and they're going to.
So it's just stop. That threw me off.
They pulled the plug. Yeah, exactly, because they didn't get the results that they wanted. So now they're going to use the courts to try to help them secure a victory. And he's going to go there first thing in the morning and to the Supreme Court and tell them they can't take any more votes. No more votes will be accepted. Right?
The nation has spoken.
So Hijacker was right. He actually won. He won. All right, he won by substantial margins too. The guy on CNN is still saying, well, if he wins Georgia, right? Everyone, we saw that on the graphic. Yeah. And he already won Georgia. I mean, come on. Like 90% of the votes are in.
You gotta remember the quote that I love from David Icke is that the world is ruled by psychopaths. Yeah. However, it's run by idiots. And so the idiots are freaking out right now because they remind me of a 3-year-old having a tantrum. And they didn't get their way, and so they've got all these contingency plans of, like, as you know, and anyone that's been following the election tonight, can see what the president was saying, where it was going a certain direction. All of a sudden, it either pulled a handbrakey or it turned right, or the whole momentum changed. And of course, 80% of us have predicted it will end up in the courts because we know what the left are like. Apparently, here's some news. Hillary Clinton actually has conceded the 2016 election. So
finally,
that's good to know. Yes.
I just want to say I didn't know it had stopped until Trump said that. Did you guys already become aware of?
No. That's what I mean. It's I think they're probably they put the mechanisms into place, and they awaited till the president actually announced it. And so that was a shock, and because in a way there's still a political war going on. I'm turning to hijacker, and I don't mind that because you can't. You can't really. Everyone's in shock basically, and you've got the pro-Trumpers going, well, that kind of makes sense. And then, of course, the left are going to freak out. And it'll be interesting now because of that small little press conference, how many Antifa BLM morons are going to go, that's go time. Let's start burning down our own houses because we're idiots.
Right. All the shops are being boarded up.
Yeah. Well, gents, it's been a fantastic night. I got to jump. You guys have been doing a hell of a job. Thank you for all your help. And we'll see what happens over the next 24 hours. You're more than welcome to be on the round table tomorrow night, too. Wide open for you guys. So thanks again. And
let's pray.
Absolute pleasure, guys. Thanks so much.
Same
and
here.
Keep it rolling, Monty. Thanks, man.
Thanks for your hard work, Jones.
I got you guys that are still here. Do you think I got a question?
Just give me a sec, Gerr Bear, and I'll hand you the talking stick. Do you listen to what happened there? Was Joe hung up at the call and hung up the call, and so we've restarted again. I apologize to the 80,000 people that I'm calling right now because they just called it right back. For those who have joined, thank you very much, and for those who ignore me, thank you very much. It's not my fault. It's my first day. So that's where we're at, and we're going to continue on. It's Planet Collingwood, so serious stuff. With a comic bent. Gerr Bear, go ahead. You've got a question.
My question was, do you guys think that Trump was the first one to spread that news that it's been stopped? I was wondering, or did CNN or any of those funky fake news cast the news? I just don't know.
They didn't say that they stopped it. What the mainstream media has been saying is like, well, it's either too close to call, so we can't call it. Even though any reputable news organization and any state legislature or elections commission would have called with a 94% return rate already in, they would have called Georgia, they would have called North Carolina
and Texas too, right?
Well,
they did call Texas, but I'm seeing here on Yahoo where Pittsburgh did say they was going to quit counting.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if this was spread before Trump said anything to any other.
No, that's what I was saying. That's the first time. I think they waited. They made sure he probably made the choice just before he walked out. That's probably why. He could have gone on. He could have actually gone on and speak half an hour ago.
No, fairness, if there's
hang on. No, someone's got a very low. Sorry, someone's got a very low volume, and so I'm guessing that's Olly.
That's the English group, the British group.
Yeah, so it's like it sounds like a ghost is tormenting me from the other side.
Ghost is right. They've been having trouble with the communications. Like they can't hear us, we can't hear them, and on and on it went. So
but guys, they use Zoom.
Yeah, but I think they got that part ironed out because we did.
Yeah, maybe they say so, man. But
right.
Well, it just stay in the now. It's a very low, and I know someone's trying to interject. Unfortunately, because the way Skype is built, where there's slight delays, and it's very quiet, so people just hear it.
Maybe I misunderstood Trump's statement. From what I understand, he actually said is he hasn't conceded, but he hasn't declared victory.
No. He said that he
So,
said everything in name. He said like we basically won, but he didn't say I accept the
the presidency of the United States.
I didn't really
understand that
CNN
either.
talk about it. CNN was saying, "Oh, look at Donald Trump is declaring a premature victory," and he didn't say anything like that at all.
No.
So of course they're spinning the mainstream media on this. But here's the thing: this kind of a situation where you've got 5 states that are decisive states in an election in this country has never happened before. They've always been called ever since we've had electronic media, television, radio, whatever. The states have always been called. They knew pretty much what the outcome of it was going to be. There's no reason to delay it.
That's the question I wanted to ask. Has there been any precedents where the call has actually been said, look, we can't do it, we're going to wait till tomorrow, whatever just happened? I'm still confused about it right now.
Not even Florida back years ago wasn't like that. They it flipped a few times, and then of course they had to do the recounts and go to the Supreme Court and all that, but they've never withheld calling 5 states.
John, go ahead.
John. The delay, the mail-in crap.
I just saw a tweet from Koonsberg. Trump said, BBC political correspondent. Trump says he has already won and that there is a fraud going on. Remember, millions of votes have not yet been counted. It is just not credible to make that claim. There is no evidence of blah, blah, blah. And I've responded to her, election by media. No questions about Biden and China. Fuck you. And you know what? Mainstream media.
I'd like just everyone take a breath. Everyone's all right. Take a breath because we're still technically.
I am angry.
I understand your. I understand.
I want democracy.
I know. Calm down.
Well, drop if he one more F-bomb, you got to drop him, Monty.
Yeah. It's. I just have to apologise for the language. It's.
My next question to you. And I will try to calm down. Yeah. But my next question to you, and this is actually my real worry here: are we now? Will history, in the future, say that this is the day on which the Second American Civil War began?
No, it's already started.
Well, see, it's totally different from the First Civil War, and also if you looked at most of the people on the left, that's what the I hate these labels. Yeah, let me finish. I'm trying to answer. I'm trying to. Hello. Hey. Hi, I'm a host. I understand you're angry, but just one at a time. This is why I'm not. I don't get paid the big bucks. I can't. Yes. All right. Yes.
4 years. Can he hear us?
Okay.
Hear anybody? Dude from England, let Monty run his show, please. Dude from England, let Monty run his show, please.
Said. And on the other hand, this guy, nothing. They found nothing.
Yes. So you're saying that? Yes. Hello.
Shut up, dude.
It's a political impeachment. We saw the same.
Can he hear us?
Hello. Conversely, with Biden, with the laptop, the media asked.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
I still have to get my fortitude to do that. I haven't done it yet. So anyway, there is that. Yeah. I mean, the corrupt media is corrupt. Please go on. But he did. Yeah.
In his defense, there is nothing as remorseless and it just a constant 24-hour barrage as the UK media. It is constant and relentless, and from the time I spent living there and the people I know who from there kind of thing, I can see their attitude is not looking at their own politics. Their attitude is so anti-Trump, and it's like, but that's not even your country's politics. Why are you so engaged? And that's obviously something to do with the
that's
the money
Fleet
and the
Street.
finance.
No, because no.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this election is significant to the entire world because America is the last bastion of freedom in the West. And that was stated earlier in this call, I think by Olly, the very person that was just speaking. And it's absolutely true. There's a lot at stake here. So he has a right to be concerned. He lives on this planet, in this world. He's in this system, and we're all affected by this. Just look at the COVID
but he
nonsense
needed a
that's going
Valium.
around.
We needed a Valium to relate with us.
Basically, he's living
No
on the Death
worse
Star.
than some others on this call. You should.
He's living on the Death Star, though, basically.
I got a question from
right
808. May I ask? 808. What time did the voting end in Hawaii?
I have no idea because I mailed mine in earlier, and I know the expectation was Biden anyway. So, you know.
Yeah, they already
have no
8 o'clock your time.
They already called it.
Yeah.
They already called it blue, but they don't have any votes reported yet.
Yeah, they just rubber
Hawaii is a very
here anyway.
yeah. Hawaii is a really solidly blue state.
Yeah, why even have an election? Just rubber stamp. Okay, you Democrat, you win.
The six people that live there will tell you what to vote. Okay, let's move on. Yeah. So I think that's projected to be blue, but who knows? And see, I had a thread, but we got blown out of the water. To sort of just very quickly look at the Civil War. If there is a civil war, the left would lose in an afternoon. Because I saw a great meme today. Thousands of children were homeschooled with gun owners. Not one gun shooting, not one school shooting.
Nope.
And if you notice as well that terrorism started to kick up in the last couple of days.
I saw that. I was going to say that. Now COVID's over, terrorism's back.
Well, see, but is
Vienna
COVID over?
And Montpellier, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's interesting as well where it's kind of weird, but the French and the German authorities are going, well, it looks like Trump's going to win, so we'll do that whole sort of Deutschland's for Deutschland, and so we won't accept these radical terrorists. I'm not going to call them Islam because people in Islam are like, please put the knife down. It's not helping us. And you've got it. That just
I know they're all kind of captured running in saying Ali Akbar or whatever it is, but as if that's not the main thing someone from an 80s film would say to try and stage someone.
It's provocateur. If there's riots right now starting up in the United States, they're being paid. In Beverly Hills, they've actually boarded up businesses.
Yeah, there's a lot in New York apparently.
And it's boarded up. Boarded up. Yeah, a lot of places are boarded up, and it's not because if Trump wins, it's not because the Republicans and the right are celebrating. It's the left would lose their collective minds, and if Biden wins, which
they'll still do it.
That's about. I was about to say, Gerr. The left will still go out and riot and blah blah blah, and then say they are red or right. You know what I mean? They're just agents of chaos trying to destroy everything. Like as I said, there was that small group of people. That small group of people that F Trump, F Biden, no more governments, and so they just want pure anarchy because they think they're doing the right thing.
Well, certainly,
but they're destroying everything. It's like, really?
I wish they would. When I had the Mr. Sergeant. He's a older brother from down south on my show the other night. We were talking about that stuff. And he says, I try to relate with my local community about anything that's destructive in the manner of these provocateurs. He says, you've got to hold our souls together and we all got to unite in a way that we relate and it shouldn't be children raising children right now. It should be adults guiding these youngsters that are going for the money and they have no realization of the reality what's really being created, and that needs to be turned. And Sergeant, he brought that up, and I totally agree. That's what we have with knowledge. Got to be out in our society saying, come on. Over.
Most of the time we got to learn. Most of the time, most of us have got to learn the hard way.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too, because we had Antifa over here say we're going to start going out of the cities and we're going to go out into the country and we're going to start taking over the country. And somebody said, well, I think somebody better tell Antifa that those country boys will climb up 30 feet in a tree, sit there all day just to kill something.
Yeah. With
Okay,
dried
these
food.
guys are out there. These guys are hunters. Okay, these guys are farmers. These guys work hard for a living. They're not. They're not going to sit there.
Well,
and let
actually,
any fucking idiot take
I've
their
had
vote.
that. I've made that a distinction, or I've made that observation where if America is gun mad and they're all psychos, and it's like it would have popped off in 1924 with all the gun owners that the United States has. They blame the kid with a gun that's on psychotropic drugs. Have you noticed that's the pattern and the connection of all these school shooters? Most of them are all on Xanax and all this other stuff. They're all heavily medicated. But you've got
from birth.
Big Pharma blew it because everybody's against them now because of their crap.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah. And so, like, if there was going to be the right revolution, it would have happened. The stock market crash in 28 or 29? The start of the Great. Yeah. When the Great Depression started.
1929.
1921. Yeah, October 1929. When that happened, eventually it could have taken 6 months to a year. I think I hate these labels, but it's just easier to express it. The right-wing gun owners would have popped off if they acted like the left today, if you follow my meaning.
Oh, yeah, that would have been. There was the amount of guns that we have here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Japanese admiral who wanted to invade the United States. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I don't remember. It was
Yamamoto.
Yeah, and one of his other guys said, you don't want to do that because there will be a rifle behind every single blade of grass.
Yeah.
You cannot invade the mainland of America. They will kill you.
Yep. I think he was the same admiral that said we've awoken a sleeping giant. And if you know your conspiracies, it's like, because Roosevelt, they allowed them to happen. The Australian intelligence, which makes me giggle because it's like, you're intelligent. 3 days beforehand, we told the Yanks, I'm going to go Australian, so no disrespect. Yeah, we told the Yanks 3 days before Pearl Harbor. There's a shitload of boats heading towards you, and they seem to be running that rising sun flag. And right. if you know your Pearl Harbor, I mean, it was shocking the way that those men died.
Yeah.
But they were sacrificed to get into the war.
Yeah, they were sacrificed in order to bring us into the war.
Right. That's why they moved the aircraft carriers away. You notice there were no aircraft carriers in Pearl Harbor. They knew what they were doing. So Roosevelt ordered those out and left the old junkers at Pearl Harbor, the more obsolescent ships, so they could be, cannon fodder.
Cannon fodder.
They'd be the target.
I think the first time in 9 months that all aircraft carriers were out of port on a Sunday.
Right, they were heading towards, I guess, Guinea or maybe even Australia. I'm not sure. They were headed south. Yeah.
And do you know why that Roosevelt allowed that to happen? Well, I'm sure it's multi-levels.
Churchill and him were cahoots.
Yeah, but and that's because the American people didn't want to enter the war because of World War. I think because World War One. But the public sentiment was, no, we don't want to go to war because. My dear American friends, there was hey, one at a time, and I'm the host, so I'm taking the talking stick. There was a time, my dear American friends, that you were actually isolationists. You didn't want to spread out to the world. It changed after World War II, because the sheriff and things. But it was the American people just wanted to be free and live fairly and have good defenses, international border type stuff. And then Japan happened, and that was a sneak attack, according to the general public. And the rest of history from there. Well, all right, now you can talk over each other.
To Woodrow Wilson, right? A Democrat. He promised, we're not going to send your boys to war. We're not going over there. It's a European war. I promise you we won't get involved. As soon as he got elected, he got us into World War I.
Yeah.
So that ended our
isolation.
And didn't the Democrats start the Ku Klux Klan? And the last, was it the State Union address last year? Because I don't think they had. Whenever you remember when all those Democrats turned up wearing white, and I thought, ooh, that's not really good, is it?
Yeah, they started that right around just after the Civil War. they were there before, but then they got real big because all of a sudden they considered the freed slaves to be a threat, and they wanted to make sure that they kept them in their place.
Yeah, which is really stupid because, like, now I only learnt this from movies, so, the grain of salt's about the size of a football. But the North took advantage of the South because they were ravaged and, carpetbaggers, and that's where that term comes from.
During Reconstruction.
Yeah.
They kind of the same way that Germany got like destroyed after World War I. The same thing happened to the South right after the Civil War.
I'll explain it. This is in joke form, but the meaning is 100%. What was the result of World War I, World War II? Because the Treaty of Versailles, that's basically what fueled Hitler. Oh, and if you travel back in time and take out Hitler, a guy called Histler would step into it. That it was the way, because what was it? The Wahlberg brothers were on each side, and they're from international banking. And it's like, even now, it's like, really? People read a book, look at the history, and you wonder why.
It was,
it's the same way that Rockefeller
and Ford.
Yeah, the same way Rockefellers played both sides of the Vietnam War, and they had to go through an intermediary so that they wouldn't be hung for treason when they were supplying the North Vietnamese. They've been doing this ever since. There's a great book out there or video called "All Wars Are Banker Wars."
Yeah. I mean, how do you win a war? You fund both sides because the winner has to pay back. I think even that was part of World War I. Germany had to pay reparations to all the other countries. Germany came into the war 6 months afterwards. He didn't start the war. He just happened to be the strongest enemy on the Axis or whatever they're freaking called. Not us. That's the only way I could sort of say it. But then we get
Germany
into...
didn't start any of those wars.
No. See, in one way of looking at it now, I'm not defending Hitler. And
why not? You should. He's a nationalist.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about Hitler is when he invaded Poland, he was actually trying to reclaim Danzig, which were German territory. He had to go through Poland to get it.
Right, Monty?
Are you suggesting that the winners write the history books, Chief?
Mechanic, are you sitting down? Because I'm going to answer it, and I'm going to say yes.
He just wanted a little area, and he asked Poland for it, and then England got involved with it and threw ass and said, "Oh, he's instigating." And Hitler was doing things very diplomatic with Poland, asking just for that one city back. That's what started all the skirmish, and then
no, it was deeper than that. They were massacring Germans.
Could they?
Yeah, there were Germans had settled that area, and they were being harassed and massacred by the Polish. Right, there was always been contention, and it was originally German land, but in the Versailles Treaty that Monty just mentioned, they forced Germany to concede that land to Poland. Yeah. See, so they're always picking on fights with Germany, always starting stuff, and then they blame Germany.
Yeah, I was going to sort of mention, like, I wonder what the spiritual connection is, why Germany is sort of the classic enemy over the last 200 years, and now it's shifted to China. And I mean, if I hear Russia, let's start the clock. Start the clock, ladies and gentlemen. Start the clock. Let's wait. Let me finish the sentence. Start the clock, and let's see how long it takes till someone says, "Oh, the Russians are involved with today's election."
Oh yeah, good point.
Hey guys,
the Mexicans.
Yeah.
Hey guys, my next
question. I mean, they've already said that during the campaign.
I know. I'm wiping the slate clean because they've been saying Russia for over 4 years, and it just reminds me of Jan from the Brady Bunch. Russia.
Exactly.
Yummy.
Yeah. And you know what? Let me go back to that. If Poland was so important, Poland was the crucial issue that got the Allies, England and France, involved in the World War II, and they decided to take action in Germany against Germany, then why did they give Poland to Russia at the end of the war? It was so doggone important.
They should have given their own nationalism back to them, their own
sovereignty.
Because that's what they were going for.
Yeah, but Soviets were there. And I mean, let's not go down that rabbit hole of Soviet. That would be another show. I'd like to. but the whole Soviet thing where it turns out to be a
It just
Rockefeller
points to the fraud
organization. Yeah,
in the
it was a
deception.
paper tiger, because these insane nutjob 4-year-old immature twats.
Hey, don't give a bad name to 4-year-olds.
Well, unless you come up with a better concept, because I've met 4-year-olds and they're smarter than David Rockefeller. The only man that died where the Dalai Lama said yes.
And useful idiots usually works pretty well.
Like, yeah, remember when David Rockefeller died, where he actually the 9th heart transplant rejected him, and it was like 8 in a row. Like, people knew on a soul level, like, I'm not being put in that body. No, I'm out. He died.
And have like 8 implants, right?
Yeah, transplants, yeah. And no one, I don't remember.
Very dark.
Yeah, can you remember anyone saying, "Oh, that's a shame"? When David Rockefeller died, the entire world has gone, "Yes, one for humanity."
I went out and got a 12
This is the dude we're talking about. Who
He had 12 heart transplants. He didn't want lucky 13.
Did you
in
hear the stories about
1963?
Wait, mechanic. I'm going to start directing traffic now. Mechanic, go ahead.
Yeah, this cat Rockefeller, right? Let me grab a hold of this mic. 1963, right? They got this cat. Oh shit! They got this cat on the cover of Time magazine, knee up, resting on the knee is his wrist. On the wrist is the watch. The time on the watch, 9/11.
That's 1966, brother.
63.
But still, you got the decade right, to be fair.
66?
Yeah.
They're having a discussion about the beginning stages of the Twin Towers.
That's right.
Well, that's when it was.
The thing is,
go ahead.
All right. Okay, Gerr, I got one for you. All right. How many years between 68 and 2001?
2001. That's a good question. Ask Mechanic. He's the one that knows. 68. That's
33.
what? 3 and 70. 33.
33, Chief. When it went up and when it came down.
Yeah, that's the thing about, like, I've had conversations where, what do you think of numerology? I don't believe in that. It's like, well, you don't have to, but these people behind the scenes do believe in it. Alex Jones says that, like, he gets grief for saying all this crazy, wacky stuff. Alex doesn't believe it. He's just found out about this stuff, and the cabal or Team Dark or the bunch of idiots who aren't 4-year-olds, they are Cortek, they believe in that. Because if you look in history, the 11th of September, how many things happened on that date? They always use certain energetic dates.
Yeah, it's like a planetary alignment opens up where energy can be channeled off to particular contest participants.
So let's see if I can try and drag this rabbit hole back to the election. I may upset Trump supporters, but I don't mean to. The corporations are in control, so they probably want to go with Trump because it will be better for everybody. Because Biden wants to shut down and tax and, turn it into a new China type thing, from what I've seen. And it's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. Because I know a lot of people listening and on the station that they sign a lead like, oh, that's it, we're all over. It's like, no, you're believing that. In a way, you're giving them power. They don't. There is a controlling mechanism, but they don't control everyone 100%.
No,
we're still on air.
It's a very fine line.
Yeah,
If they go too far, they will cause utter riots and people just to break stuff until there's nothing left.
Yeah, and well, that's part of what we're sort of seeing unfold, especially in 2020. And we're at that, not a choice point, but we're at a point in history because finally we've almost near through the election, which could go for another 3 months. Thanks, reality. However, to go to a new world order, they have to step out from the curtain, and they have to expose their evilness. And every time they sort of step forward, they're exposed. The backlash is so much more. If you remember the Manchester bombing at a concert, they thought they could spread fear because this person went inside and blew themselves up. But there were people running back in to save more people.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that just shows humanity of like people are waking up, or they're not in fear, and they're going to be brave. And even the knife wielding guy, I don't know why I'm just picking on England. The knife wielding guy on the London Bridge, he was taken down by 4 other people because that's a natural instinct to protect humans.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
family.
he was taken down by 4 other people from quite a distance on a really crappy camera, ridiculously foggy. I could barely tell what was going on. You had symbolism all over the place, and again, we had another appearance by the only orange helicopter known to mankind with the compass and ruler sponsorship on the side of it.
Really?
No. Again, the symbolism is all over these things, people.
Nothing.
You take a look at the orange chopper belongs to the UK. It's got a huge compass and ruler Masonic symbol right on the side of it. Like they bought that thing. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, well, actually, here in Australia, in Victoria, I think it's still on air. We have a community TV station, and they want to get rid of it because they want to move it to YouTube or some crap. But anyway, they once a week they have a half-hour show for the Freemasons, and now it's all level 1, 2, and 3. It's not the 32,
Well, your
33.
cops are all Freemasons. They all walking around with the black and white checkered.
Yeah, I know it's worse. If you look at the Victorian Police badge symbol, it has a 5-pointed star upside down in it. Now, I'm not saying they're satanic, but they also still have a satanic symbol in their emblem.
Yeah, it is.
I know, especially, and also, the Victorian Police were known for shooting people, so I'm glad that hasn't happened over the last 3 years. But just the lockdown this year, the tourism for Victoria is going to drop immensely because of just how everything is being unfolding. Where there was a lockdown protest in front of Parliament yesterday, I think it was, and over 400 arrests were made, and that's what we already came out of lockdown. And so it's this is why
that's a bit. That's not right, is it?
It's a bit overkill, and that's why I'm sort of just living in my own dream bubble because I've had enough.
In that vein of thought, although it's not, it doesn't say specifically. It says Australian police crime. I saw a site that cops in Australia have come out with talking about mainly the RT-PCR test and other kind of things that cops.
Who's making a milkshake?
Really going on?
So I'll just be on a round table and create a remote control car.
Somebody's making margaritas.
I thought I was muted. My bad.
No, that's all right.
I was just turned on my drone.
Drink them if you got them, brother.
Huh?
Sounds like you're mixing margaritas, so drink them if you got them, brother. Yeah.
Oh, it's my drone.
Well, that's
in the house.
Vegas, so whatever.
In the house.
Yeah. Remember,
awesome.
Remember, Gerr Bear, you live in Vegas, so mute. What stays in happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So.
All right, my bad.
So,
anyway, Australian cops have come out and made a site saying this is fucking bullshit. Language. This is
what is going on around here?
Jeez, everyone's a bit. The energy's up. The energy's up. Once again, I'd like to apologise for the dear listeners, but I'm sure a lot of people have been throwing chairs at TVs for most of the day. But yes, I did see that. Strangely enough, not Victorian police, but there are police. That's the other part of, dare I say, the awakening. Is that if you're told
stormtroopers are making their own community groups and saying, look, we're not going to do this in a way where we put our names to it, but frankly, with something's a little bit sus here.
Yeah, this is not right, and that's basically what it is. Where if from a disease or a virus or an illness, whatever you want to call it, and let's not open that can of worms. Just go with there's a virus that 99.94% survival rate, and you lock down an entire metropolitan city with 5 million people living in it. It's the response is totally overblown, and this is where
on a global scale, less than 1%.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, see, now, Mechanica, I do love you, and I like how you say that, but I've been listening to Joe Biden way too much. So when you say "come on," I go into PST. Like, oh, come on, man, malarkey.
Biden doesn't have the pep though. Biden said, "Come on."
Yeah, but I was watching Crowder, as I said, and he said, "Look, if Joe Biden wins, it's okay, because he'll be dead soon." I'm like, well, that's a bit dark.
But she ain't wrong though.
What did he say? We've already had 200 million dead from COVID.
Yeah,
nice slip of the tongue, Chief.
I think we should re-elect Donald Trump.
The dude's
Joe,
a clown.
no.
Come on.
Yeah.
This is
that's the level of
that we have an organic equation here where people are walking in organically, believing that they're doing the right thing, voting for this guy. Tell me one thing he's done during this campaign that gives you any inclination that he can run a country. Any one of you.
No,
Go ahead.
I'll start.
I'll sign it over to you right now. Come on.
Take a breath. Take a breath. Let me answer the question. Take a breath. People are voting for Biden because he's not Trump. That's the only reason.
It's true. It's like why not? Why are you voting? Why who don't you want to vote for? Clinton. Okay, I'll take the other person.
Yeah,
and it's exposing. He did.
Go ahead.
He did. He did the thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With the the
the thing.
Yeah.
Whatever the thing is, he did it.
Yeah. And Trenzalore or whatever the word he said. Yeah, it's let's see. The Swedish chef has been brought in to translate Joe Biden's speeches, and also the count from Sesame Street is going to start taking up the slack in the vote counting.
How great would it be to have?
That's why it's going to take so long.
How great would it be to have Ozzy Osbourne as translator for Joe Biden?
I think that Babylon Bee did that. It's Sharon. I don't like this guy. But yeah, that's the main reason why Biden has got traction, because he's not Trump. He hasn't put forward any plans. We don't know what he stands for. There's a satirical journalist called Jonathan Pye, not a fan of Trump, but he could see Trump winning in 2016. He can see Trump winning this way go around. And he pointed out, he ripped the Democratic Party apart by going, what do you stand for? And in a way, it's very similar to what I've said. You've had 4 years to find a candidate and policies that will make Americans go, I like that, we'll be better off. And you've had
You've had your whole life to come up with those things.
Yeah, I know, but still, you've had, after the mistake of having Hillary in, it's more of the same. We don't like that. And so you've had 4 years, and all it's been is Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad. And
it's no way to build a better future, is it?
Well, what future? It's just, he's evil, we have to get rid of him. Well, what can you replace it with? Shut up. We just want to get rid of him.
So let's assume if we vote you in, then that kind of kills that equation. Then what do you got?
I'm sorry, gentlemen. There's a paradigm you are forgetting here where the feelings, they've actually hopped, skipped, and jumped right over the back seat and are now in the trunk. And, the feelings are driving the car. The facts are in the back seat, in the trunk, halfway through the tailpipe. Clearly non-existent on the left, right? No logic, no circumstance, no conviction, no integrity, no moral fortitude. All of this scrubbed. We could take a look in indoctrination camps like college campuses. All right? You guys down there in Australia, you're almost and don't feel so left alone now, by the way, in case you feel isolated down there. No pun intended. You're about to have company. What's their name? Canada. Right behind you, Australia. Canada. It's not looking good there. I mean, the stuff they're talking about doing over there. New York's going to break off, right? New York, same thing. Right now in New York, in order to get in, you've got to test negative for COVID and prove it wherever you go.
In New Zealand, which they didn't have a case, it didn't have a case for 100 days, and they're isolated from international travel. And all of a sudden, half a family in Auckland had 4 cases. It's like, well, where the hell did that come from? And they shut down Auckland in a hard lockdown. And they've put forward that they're going to have quarantine camps. Just pause for effect.
I heard that press conference.
It's so hard to try and explain something.
Sorry.
Where everyone interrupts. You pause for effect because everyone that listens to this station know about FEMA camps and indoctrination camps, and we know a history about Stalin and everything else like that. And also, you to leave the camps, you have to keep getting tested. And if you don't get tested, you have to stay for another 14 days. And so that's a good incentive, I think. Like, no, it's like really. That's the thing about it. We're seeing transparency. That's one thing that we can say is they're being more transparent. And the chaos that's going to happen, like, what is it? It's just after 3 o'clock on East Coast. It's 3:14 in the morning. Give it 5 hours, 6 hours. So 7:30 from 7:30. I'm going to pick a time. 7:30 in the morning. So roughly just over 4 hours, you're going to see things just go ballistic in the United States, because you're going to have, as that angry man from the United Kingdom was saying, that the journalists are just going to take certain words and what they think the premise is and run with it. Fly door. Trump said he won the election. It's like he didn't. In a way, he did. It's like we basically did.
He didn't. He was speaking it like a past tense,
Yeah.
Because it's an event that is cut short. Who cut this event short? Why don't you go all night? Keep going.
And he didn't have the arrogance that they want Trump. Because people have an idea of what Trump is, and 85% of it is created in their own brain. Oh, he's a racist. We don't have to go through all that because,
also, if you live in the UK, then 100% of it or 85% of it is this constant barrage of media bombardment.
Yeah, that's just a distraction from the Queen and how terrible their parliament is.
Every single UK person is so interested in the US election, and it's just like, how can you be so interested and so vocal about what's happening in a government in a country that's not yours unless you've been so barraged by the media to be 100%.
How far back in history you want to go? Because it looks like the royal family still owns or is major stockholders in the corporation that is the United States, not the United States, the United States. No, it was made. The United States, the country or nation that you're in, was made a corporation in 1837, I believe.
Okay,
after we went into bankruptcy.
Actually, well, we declared bankruptcy in 1933, so we've had to have been a corporation prior.
1871.
71. Yep. So I got the
already. Right. I was going to dismiss the case, but here you are, Gerr. Thank you. Thank you.
And so, if you take a step back from watching all of this, it's like, there's a word I can't say on radio. It has been mentioned a couple of times already on the show, but it's a mess. It really is a mess, and
it's a corporate mess.
Everything's it's all corporate. And
let's look at it. Let's look at it a little differently, and not have so much remorse or what is it? No mercy, Johnny, for these people in these positions who are basically, go up to the position of CEO in a country or whatever. And a lot of the people give them a lot of kind of leeway, like, they're just doing a job, blah, 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 blah. But we should treat them like CEOs. If they don't do a good job, we should hold them accountable. Not that CEOs are accountable, but...
but that thought started out well. CEO will be demoted, fired, removed, relocated.
It's like a priest.
Desk jockey, file cabinet guy, right? Mail delivery dude, right? We put a guy in the Senate. That guy sits there 40 plus years. doesn't get nothing done. Take a look at their districts in California. Take a look at Maxine Waters in California. Pelosi in California. Their districts are dumps. They don't even live in their own districts.
How can you have a politician that is in place for that long? I just cannot believe that someone that old
the word you're
can
looking
be
for,
doing
Cortek.
anything dynamic.
Cortek, the word you're looking for is corruption. Where how many, like, if you just look in the last 30 years, how many politicians, like, when they take office, they're worth $30,000, which was a lot of money back then, and then they come out 15 years later and they're worth 35. I don't remember. I $35 million. I don't remember being a senator is being that profitable because there's a salary, and that's why.
Listen, you're so unsympathetic. I'm so fed up with your garbage. Clinton left the White House flat broke. How dare you?
Well, actually, no. The Clintons did leave the White House, and then 15 minutes later, they were asked to return all the paintings they took. Like that, they're not yours. That's for the country.
There was that.
And the W keys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And see, that's the other thing. I'm like, you want to play the what if game of Stephen Crowder went through his crew and he had a lot of guests on, and he just went with gut feeling. What do you think? And the president basically said, Trump won the election. What do you think Trump will do in the next 4 years once he gets past this hurdle and we're going to the Supreme Court? It's like, well, that's handy because you've got a full Supreme Court now, and most of them, like the last one was appointed by you, so like this may hopefully a bit of fairness.
Does that mean jail time? Does that mean some jail time?
Hillary, Obama, like, we'll see these mass arrests, or we'll actually, because like the elite level of criminality and there's no repercussions from it is just getting ridiculous. Where we know, I mean, how many?
Can we all chip in and start a Kickstarter campaign?
No.
Yeah, there is a campaign going on already. It's called Q. That's got us a long way.
I mean, Hillary Clinton's a good example. I don't know who you are in history, but if 56 people that you know or work with or are friends all die from suicide, something's going on.
How would you find the best hitman in the world if you were trying to start a Kickstarter campaign?
Talk to Bill Clinton. You may have an idea.
What do you think?
I'm never
going to help you.
If you don't love the Clintons right now, you better watch out. I got a great relationship with the Clintons. I got no issues with the Clintons.
That's because you want to stay alive.
I find Hillary to be, quite frankly, very funny at times.
Sexy woman.
I got no issues. Hashtag I didn't commit suicide anytime soon.
Yes, but I'm not saying that anyone should commit suicide. Stay here. It's going to be fun, and in the end, it will be awesome. But if I actually had to take myself out, I'll just tweet, I have information that would lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because like even someone they do those fake tweets when Notre Dame burnt in Paris. Someone said they had the Notre Dame Twitter account, and it said, "I have information that will lead to the arrest and conviction of Hillary Clinton." So you see that meme occasionally when something bad happens.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, the things I'm pleased with right now. Well, let's talk about destruction real quick. And I know that those two things aren't usually common in the same sentence.
It's a paradox.
Well, number one, a lot of cognitive dissonance going around. So paradigm destruction, right?
This is how we learn.
And then we take a look at professional sports. Here in America, anyways, I don't know what it's like in Europe or with the UK, Premier Leagues and these types of things. But I could tell you in America, I've said these examples before. We got the Lakers winning championship. We got LA winning championship. Here's the numbers. 18 million tuned into the championship last year. This year, 5 million. Right?
Yeah, why would that be?
Baseball, same thing, cut in half.
They went social justice.
They went woke and woke at the same time.
And hence the term, which has been used for at least 2.5, 3 years. I got the term from the Quartering, which he got from someone else. Four words: get woke, go broke. And it's all that whole social justice thing where, like, the gentleman, someone that got shot by police, and it turns out he was sexually assaulted a young woman. He was beating other women. He had a knife and he lunged. Yeah, or something. Yes, that's the one. And then you have all these rich elitist athletes saying, "Yeah, we're with your brother," and they're celebrating a criminal. And I'm not happy that George Floyd died, but he was high on fentanyl.
Garbage. That's just criminal garbage.
Yeah, now it's obviously from my compassion side, like, they need help and they can get help, but to put him up as a sainthood because a policeman died, like, the latest ones in the last week where the police shot a man because he was running at him with a knife. What? The knife. Yeah, the China
longer than your forearm.
China is invading San Francisco. Everyone should just lay down their weapons and welcome our new overlords. Seriously. What's wrong with defending yourself?
Make no mistake.
Yeah. And especially when the police say 18 times, put the knife down. I mean, at least the Victorian police give you 2 warning shots into the chest.
I'd like to see a few tactical, maybe knee or shoulder shots, and teach.
That's
there goes the well. He's dropped the weapon on a fatality. Well done.
Well, that's the problem. You go for centre mass to stop people because the United States has a gun. It is, and you can hit it instead of hitting an arm. You've also got the problem of gun culture, and I'll use gangster rap as an idea, where in a way the police believe that every black man is a criminal, and some of them are, not all black people, but everyone is a possible perpetrator because you don't know, and
including the cop.
Oh, exactly. Then you've got the thing of go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, you shoot center mass because that's the largest target you're going to get on a person. And when you're in that kind of a situation where you don't have time to sit there and steady yourself and then take proper aim and all this other stuff like you do at a target, you've got to get it. Yeah, you've got to get that bullet off quick. So you go for the biggest target you can shoot at that guy. And if it happens to hit him in the chest.
And the what's the word I'm looking for? The not thinking, and the energy out there is black kids will shoot police and the police are going to shoot black kids, and so they've ramped up this sort of false reality, if that makes sense, where everyone is just so amped up and they're fearful because if they could pull over somebody and they could die at any moment. That's probably in the back of the mind, not in the forefront. And then you've got racist bad cops who just hate everybody.
Wasn't that all manufactured from gangster rap anyway, which a big
government program? But it's even before then. I'm
not saying that the overbalance of power when people get into power.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
stupidity of people is enough to carry it on.
What I mean is the perception's being ramped up, and it's in the background. It's not in the foreground. It's in the background that every black teenager is a criminal, which is completely wrong. Because I've seen footage and I've talked to Americans. Most of you are nice and get on really well.
Yeah, most people are amazing.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Exactly. And then it's just when the media focuses, and that's one thing from the election as well, the media really needs to check itself before it wrecks itself even more.
Even more.
Well, every pollster needs to be fired.
It's too late for that. Smith back.
Like, especially just seeing, if you watch Trump's press conference or whatever it was, you watch all of it, and then you watch how the media responds to it, and it's like you're supposed to be unbiased. You're supposed to report the news, not give your opinion on it and try and tweak it to your narrative. And that's what I think the media is. They're exposing themselves because the narrative is just so so it's full of fantasy.
My head just went into that song, Feelings, into that kind of song, and there's there's just too much of it. I don't care what this random whoever you are wants to think about any given situation you probably paid to talk about.
The feelings are driving the car now. What do you think virtue signaling is all about? What do you think they're coming out of college with the?
That's what I love. Your data,
feelings,
your data in the backseat thing was bang on.
Yeah.
Because this whole thing is
that's
driven
what's
by
going
data
down.
that is bad.
Just look at the
and
rise.
was chosen because it was faulty.
Yeah,
The facts are in the trunk, Chief.
Yeah, and look at and Karen's driving, and see the rise of that meme in just this year alone, where you're a Karen, which used to be just a busybody with like I want to talk to your manager because like my marshmallow's pink and I wanted a white one, so I'm obviously going to shut this business down, and then it's just extrapolated just further out where.
2019 was the year that a lot of people made a lot of money off feminism. Hollywood definitely did. And feminism rose up and kind of got a big kind of stand up again because, all your marginalized LGBTQ2, the rest of the alphabet groups seem to be getting more attention. And they were saying, look, we've been in line for attention. Don't try and jump.
Well, see, there's a split in feminism, though. There's the traditional feminism where they want equality. I have no idea what they want now. Where I hate men. Well, you have issues. You should see somebody and have therapy. Then there's actual true feminism. It's like we don't want our sex to be treated like garbage and we're not slaves to male masters. That second wave in the 70s. Have you noticed we're in a 40-year cycle where if you look at Monty Python sketches, apart from the special effects, the jokes still work because we really haven't moved on or we've gone back to it. Where like the whole
are coming back soon.
Yeah, the whole trans rights. Can anyone name one trans right that has been removed?
It's never had to exist before because last time I checked, they were humans.
Exactly.
And we all have human rights.
Yes, and they're all legal and they should be followed. But what about trans rights? You're oppressing me. It's like, well, no, because
garbage.
What rights are you missing? It's like, but my fifis are hurt. That's not a right. That's a choice, and you're an idiot.
You're a weak, soft coward.
Yeah, you have the right to. You have the right to exist. You have the right to choose to go there. You also, I'll figure this out. That is where it came from. I have a right to make fun of you because I have a right to make fun of everyone else, and in a positive way, if that makes sense. I don't, I'm not completely. South Park has this rule: no one is off.
Look, you stick to being funny. I'll do the insulting. I'm done with the kid gloves. All right, these people walking around with their head and their hands, willingly living in victimhood. I'm done with it. Yep. They need to be backhanded, slapped upside the head, and woke up like no other time in history. Oh, yeah. This is a garbage collection going on right now. It's almost like the mask allows you to identify all the idiots. Even the least likely suspects are idiots.
Well, it's the thing that people have actually put together compilations of everyone having a freak out on camera. There was one young.
They've turned that whole camera thing around, by the way, Monty.
Okay. Well, let me I want to get back to that very quickly. There was one young woman, obviously went to university and went through the indoctrination. She was extremely upset that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died before the election. She was so angry. How dare you die? I'm like, really? You can't really. It's not her fault. And this is the reality they have. Like, they're still trying to accept that Trump. They won't accept that Trump won 4 years ago, and we're still hearing the same rhetoric. Oh, he'll destroy the planet. Well, he's had 4 years. I mean, he hasn't done 100% correct, and he's not a savior, but he's done his best in a way. I mean, Hillary Clinton would have started a war with Iran 3 days after she was inaugurated.
I feel she would have been much worse.
I've got a great joke about that. I try to remote view Hillary Clinton's timeline, and it's not there. She's that evil. The whole timeline's disappeared.
Of course.
Kind of like the Mayans.
Yeah. Go ahead. I stepped on someone then.
Echo.
Oh no,
I don't know
it was a good pause, especially because we do live in insane times. I think the Chinese have a curse: "May you live in interesting times." Well, I have, and I'm over it.
Damn you and your curses.
Well, yeah, and also the Chinese, there's a difference, a challenge and a problem.
Damn you and your cursed opportunities.
Yeah. Oh well, see, yeah, there is that. I'm sure people are those evil gits in the elites are going to use. We're going to see it. I'm hoping that the whole court procedure with the election isn't drawn out, and if we say that the Trump camp are the good guys in the story, that the bad guys will just expose themselves and they'll just look stupider, which they've been doing for a while.
Okay, all right, Monty. You know what? Let me tell you something. Trump's a plague. Trump is an example of a based individual. Even in face of the consequences, Trump remains based, right? He is, and I'm not a Trumper, all right, by any means. I don't buy into the left-right paradigm. I think we're looking at, one bird, two different colored wings, right? Quite frankly, the left-right has been screwing Americans since 1913 with the induction of the Federal Reserve, which basically stripped Americans of their sovereignty, control of the currency. And what came after that? War, poverty, right? Breadlines, right? The Depression, 1929, so on and so forth. Oh, hell, come on. You guys talk about Hitler. The guy played both sides. He was hired to do so. He had a lot of help playing both sides with them. Capital Oil, Bush, the original Bush, right? Prescott. Why aren't we talking about these things?
Oh yeah, where he was charged with treason because he was doing business with the Nazis. Even Standard Oil, New York, is that part of Sony? I'm not sure, but they were what's the German plane during the war in World War II? German planes could only fly from a certain thing of Standard Oil, and so they used 100 years ago they were called internationalists. And now they're called globalists. And Alex Jones mentioned this, 20 years ago, it was like a slur and, you're just making things up. And then at some point, the globalists took that name on and made it, we are globalists. There you are.
Standard Oil was Rockefeller.
Yeah.
One of the first things to do was to reverse all terminology, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I find it very difficult to watch the Flintstones because they have a gay all time. I thought that meant happy.
What's going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, hey there, Ralphie boy.
Yeah. That's the honeymooners. Hey, Barney. What's up, Fred?
Anyway, guys. Hey, Gordon, how would you like to? Oh, no, never mind. Wrong show. Wrong.
Yabba dabba doo.
But anyway, guys, I am absolutely beat, and I gotta hit the sack, so I'm gonna be signing off. So, but great talking to everybody.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you for being here and putting up with my crap. It's perfect to have a comedy show at the end. It's like, yeah, we have to laugh. It's just too intense.
Levity is a must. Nick, thanks for coming.
All right, man. You guys have a good one.
Take care. Have fun. So, if anyone's, because I'll put this up on YouTube, and I thought they're going to talk about the election. Yeah, we did that for 8 hours beforehand. So we're sort of in that another quiet. There's a lull because the president came out and said it's a fraud, and we're going to try and fix it. And of course, everyone that's made their decision.
That's what he said, wasn't it?
Yeah. And so people that hate Trump, it's just going to amplify them more. And so, from my perspective, I can see that, Trump's not here to save humanity, but he's a catalyst for something. And that's even if, going into the election in the last 24 hours, it felt like New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. No idea what's going to happen. And whatever was going to happen is supposed to happen, if that makes sense. So if Trump lost, give it 2 weeks and then he could just release all these files and Hillary and Obama type thing. That was one sort of timeline. But it looks like that Well, here's a question for the table. Do you believe that our sinister corporation controllers, they want Trump in and not Biden?
I think it's just that tight wire type line that they run between having a system that they can move and operate in and having a system that's broken. And you know, and whether you go too far and people revolt and burn everything down, you know, I mean, people get carried away with that kind of stuff and end up burning down libraries and stuff like that when, you know, historically. So
yeah, I remember someone described the difference between a Rockefeller and the Rothschilds is that both they will both want to live, you know, want you to live in a prison, but the Rothschilds will give you a blanket. So you're slightly comfortable. So, you know, there's that element of Plato's cave where they rather have the energy farm running along without people knowing it. And what we're kind of seeing is there's a small faction that was like, no, we have to destroy everything and control everyone because we're control freaks. And they're not doing any subterfuge at all. And like, if you could,
that's why it wasn't pushed
look,
last election.
I said this before that fear is the currency of control, and what do they have everybody in right now? A state of fear.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just the people that are ramping up. I mean, especially with lockdown, mental illness has gone through the roof because we're all been in house arrest. And who knows, like businesses have collapsed. We have no idea the exact numbers of suicide. Drug abuse, alcohol abuse, domestic abuse have all risen. And especially like here in Victoria and maybe New South Wales, Cortek could add to it, is that, we're trying to, you know, we're saving grandma. And it's like, yeah, but look at all the destruction because of the actions they've brought in. Where it's we're quarantining 8 million people in Australia because 20 people are sick.
Well, okay. I mean, what are you saying? I mean, are we running out of time? What are we coming up against right now? I don't want to take over your show. We got 20 minutes left. I'm probably going to get out of here. What are you saying to these cats? You got these people in front of you saying we're going to protect grandma. I've had this happen to me. It took me 6 to 8 hours, a 2-hour drive to another state to buy a mattress for this little camper I'm building, right? And
is it for your grandma?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. I thought we were along the lines of we should take more care of our older mentors rather than just shifting them.
Yeah, well, I'm inside this place, and grandma stands up from the desk she's at, I imagine from some salesman, and proceeds to tell me that she's wearing a mask to protect me from her.
Did you say don't bring me into your psychosis?
Yeah. You know what? Listen, fellas, I'm trying to be as cool as possible when I'm in public. I really do. I try to hold it down, even-tempered, right? Okay, lady, that mask ain't doing anything for you or anybody else in here.
What'd she say?
And I had to get out. I went around. I found a mattress place, bought it without a mask, came back, had to let them know, put that in your pipe and smoke it. I got on my way. Listen, a lot of things are becoming about the principles right now, fellas. It really is.
It really is.
Hey, did you save a couple
and
dollars?
these little tiny principles make a lot of sense. Go ahead, Gerr.
I said, did you save a couple dollars going to the other bed store?
Oh, absolutely. I knew by walking in. I'm looking at a place that's a 2,000 square foot versus, say, 25,000 square foot. Yeah, slightly different overhead. And, yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I got. The camera's coming along. It's fully insulated. The paneling's done. I'm not going to get any of that. But, yeah, this is all garbage. What do you say to these people? I try to be nice. In the very beginning here, I had the kids' gloves on, the little butt pat, the little coating of the ego. How are you? How you doing? Oh, sure.
That was in March.
I'll wait outside for my sandwich. I'm done. I'm 100% done with all of this nonsense.
Yeah.
And right now, if you're still buying it, that's on you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, from my perspective, about 3 degrees to a different side. I'm not going to say left or right because let's not bring that up. If they feel like they should wear a mask, and it's not mandatory. That's the other thing. I understand, like, because here in Victoria, we have to wear a mask, and it's a $200 fine, which is about $37 American. It's like, yeah, damn it. But free will is like, if you see someone with a mask, it's like, oh, you do you. However, if they come over to you and attack you for not wearing a mask, it's like, okay, you've crossed the line. It's like, because of free will, if you believe the mask is going to help you, because eventually it won't, because you're not getting enough oxygen to the brain, and all that bad stuff that you're breathing out just sits in the mask, and you'll probably, bronchial emphysema or something. You'll get sick.
Yeah, the bad stuff has a nickname. Bacterial pneumonia.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, bacterial pneumonia too.
Small side effects. Just scrape off the moldy cheese, huh? It's all good.
Thank you for saying that, mechanic. I should remember that. Yeah, small side effects, death. Wait a minute, what? It's like, Robin Williams had a great routine about just the big pharma, where if the inlay card is the size of a sheet, where you could give it to a homeless person and they'll be, warm overnight. And antidepressants may cause suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an antidepressant then.
Terrible.
Yeah.
True.
So we live in interesting times. Oh, I've said that, but we live in interesting times. Yeah, so over it. My fees are hurt. Who cares?
Shouldn't the residents been quiet?
It has been. It's spiked a couple of days ago.
Bottom line. I'm gonna drop off here, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for letting me run with it. Right now, we've all got to start taking steps, and I'm so glad to see the results I've seen. I knew that this filibuster was coming. I knew they were gonna try to shit can this whole election from start to finish. And I think tonight they got a clear understanding of where the American people stand. And if they don't, at this point, as you guys know, we got governors right now. Whitmer, all right, scumbag Whitmer of Michigan is ignoring Supreme Court rulings. But you go across the country to the West Coast where I reside, you got judges putting their boot on the shoulder, the neck, if you will, on Governor Newsom. So good things are coming. I just got an affirmation today from the former employer that she is no longer listening to the county. She's not closing. She's looking for a plan. I'm getting in touch with some other fellow restaurants here in California. I'm going to get a hold of some Peggy Hall. I'm going to get some players. I don't know if they'll come on the radio with me. I'm kind of a jackass. I'm a big dumb goof. I can stand. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But behind the scenes, there are things going on. I'm going to be sending out emails. I'm going to be drawing attention to some things in my own town. And that's where we all got to start. County by county, folks. Thanks for having me on. I'm going to cut out.
Thank you for being here. I'll leave you with one thing as well. Is be the change you want to see in the world, as well as the fake mainstream lie that they put forward. Point out that it's a lie, and freedom, democracy, everything else like that. It's like, well, let's, instead of the TV's lying to you, let's actually have freedom, democracy, and a fulfilling life. And it sounds like that's what you're doing, sir. So thank you. I think he dropped off. Anyway. I just quickly read a tweet from Paul Joseph.
Much respect, Monty. Thank you for having me.
He is there.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. So he's fumbling for the mute button. Paul Joseph Watson just tweeted, What type of this election is so bizarre? How can you stop counting votes when your side is losing?
How does it ever? How like?
That's
is
what
there
this
a
is.
precedent for this ever happening before?
No, of course not. I mean, well, probably in high schools, like Timmy's winning. We don't like him.
So who is the body that calls time out? Who is the umpire?
Well, see, I don't know. I found it hard trying to find certain things. I saw one of my I follow on Twitter. It's like, what is the best place to look at election results? I ended up with Stephen Crowder because he has an element of comedy. Because if not, I would have been just angry and bored. it's
like we're in Spain or something, trying to look for a shop that's open at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Everyone's asleep.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Any Spanish people listening, because that siesta sounds awesome. But you are correct, because it's different. But that's the level we're at. Is our side isn't winning, so we'll stop counting the votes. It's like that's your play.
So can we safely say that there's a precedent like being set here that's never happened?
I would say, yeah, this would be as you asked the question, when in history, apart from say a king, like a dictator or something like that, in a free
count again,
yeah,
7 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly. Best of 19, best of 21.
The Grim Reaper from Bill and Ted's.
Yeah, that's the one. They Melvin. Yeah,
best 15
in a free.
Out of 46.
Yeah, in a free and transparent an election, you have to accept the outcome. You don't stop counting if you don't like the outcome. That's not how elections work.
Is there other media bodies that aren't so well owned that are still counting?
I think there's counting. Counting hasn't. Well, who knows? Because we've been on air. So I don't know what from Trump's statement saying we're going to the courts, because the election, we've been doing elections for a while now, especially in Western civilization, for just use as an example 200 years. We kind of know how these things work. I write down a number on a piece of paper, and so do all of you, and then we count the numbers and see which pile goes into which. I like Billy, you like Joan, and then whoever's got the most wins.
Yeah, sounds pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's not running a seeing an election outcome's not that hard. Count the votes, see which has more. That's the winner. It's been going through history for a while from the Greeks. They just stopped counting. They slowed down the counting and they've stopped them. And the problem is, I think it's Georgia. I could be wrong. I do apologize. They stopped counting till tomorrow. Now, what will happen during that? What do they find? 8 million votes in a dumpster at 4 a.m.
It's going to be super sus if it jumps a big like 2-figured percentage or something like that.
Yeah, and I just had a connection. They're banking on that people, through fear and anger, they're banking on they'll accept the result, what they want, because they're afraid of, Trump's a fascist. It's like, if he was a fascist.
They're banking on people are going to go to sleep tonight and trying to dream themselves into a better reality.
It's like whatever. They'll skip over things like, oh, we stopped that evil Trump. So I mean, Joe didn't. He wasn't 100% honest. However, he won, so we'll just overlook that and move forward.
And his son didn't completely help things along the way.
Well, that's a conspiracy now, because that's the level of media. It's like, oh, no, it's not true. Right.
Not if over 50% of people think it and the media doesn't report it. That doesn't count anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, most people don't like that. And from the voice beyond Pony Pones, who I think may have a word or two to say after. I may just add you to the call. No, I need the video. Anyway, Pony says the problem is choice. Well, yeah, it's a false choice, but the thing is, people have that Trump derangement syndrome, where they hate that he exists and breathes. Like, remember when he went into hospital and all these blue check marks on Twitter? A third of them's like, I hope you die. I'm like, yeah, that's very peace, love, and mung beans, isn't it?
Not very cool, is it? Yeah.
No. I mean, because like if Biden got sick, you would see the Republicans most of them would say, well, that's
Send
unfortunate.
flowers.
That's unfortunate. I hope you get better. But if someone on the right gets sick, the left go, good, die, you old Nazi. You're like, when did this inversion happen?
Can you bring Pains in? He's there.
Yeah, well, I'll add him to the call, but I will be
lurking.
Yeah, I will be ending because I need the video and hopefully it works. But anyway, so.
Is it what's her name's up now anyway?
No, there's 2 hours usually. Okay, that's right. Oh, him and his auntie, it's E0. Right, there. Oh, you stupid. I'm going to punch you. This is why I don't produce myself. He's calling in now, so I'll just add him and then I'll add him and hope for the best. So,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's calling, but I added him at the same time, so we'll give it 30 seconds. So see what because I'm sure you and himself will see.
Did you read COVID's out and terrorism's back? Did you see any of the Twitter footage of these dudes running around Vienna and what was the other one in Montpellier?
Call declined. Yeah, because I freaked it out. So I think no, I didn't. So no, that's the wrong one. See, I've got to remember how everything works now. See, there's no phone call at all. So I'll probably have to.
He says he's trying.
Yeah, he's joined. That's probably why. Tony, how are you? We've got 2 to 5 minutes, depending if there's a break. So, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I called the wrong thing. Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just it felt like a New Year's Eve / Christmas show because I just felt giddy and didn't care what the outcome was. But yeah, the
got the grand final.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. And it's fascinating because it's like, it's a draw and we have to wait till next week.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
We've just paused it. We've just paused it for everyone so they can get a good night's sleep. Now, it's really, really, really important to get a good night's sleep, blah, 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 blah.
I saw that and it felt like there was something missing, like a bit of the script was left out. I felt like I was watching BBC.
Like the result.
No. Apart from the result, Cortek. Because we didn't get to the result. Because as Trump said in his speech, that we were going well, we're winning, we're moving forward. Then all of a sudden, stop. And you can see that.
Who gives that notification? Who makes that decision? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, there's you see, it's a two-party system on the face of it, and so if there's Democratic polling places, they would probably, we're slowing down, or it seems to be that the Republicans are winning, so we'll just try and do some chicanery, and how many alphabet agencies and behind the curtain type of deal, because it looks like it would have been close. However, the problem is. It looked like Trump has won.
Trimpy.
Yeah, good old Trimpy.
Well, no,
I don't mind people getting a little bit of shut eye, but I've never.
Yeah, but no, because even here,
people say, "Whoa."
Yeah, here in Australia, they count. They may they may take shifts or they cut down, but there's always counting all the way through. And also, this is not their first rodeo, unless there's been a birth explosion in 14 years ago or something like that. They knew how many people would probably turn up, and there's all the mail-in ballots as well. So
statistically, there was a birth explosion 14 years ago. How did you know that?
Well, you have to be 18 to vote.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Just doing the old mathematics there. So
Pony.
Yeah, I was going to say Pony. So Pony and Cortek, will we be doing the after party?
I guess so. We don't have anything cemented in, so if you guys want to keep going, you can keep going. It's not my thing. But Cortek and me, yeah, for sure.
I'd go.
Well, I've got 2 minutes because I think Joe Tone's turned off the breaks. So yeah, there's 2 hours of silence. So if you guys want to have a bit of a chinwag, you're most welcome to.
Yeah, I don't have much.
Yeah, I'll teamwork.
I got on last night and spilled my guts, so I can do that again if you want.
Did you clean them up, or have they still on the floor, or you still?
I put a sheet down. That's all right.
I just thought if I put something on top of it and didn't look at it, it would go away.
Yeah, it's my new
hard to
footstool.
clean up. It's very complex. I need solutions and dilutions and
Sound like some kind of alchemist.
Well, what I'll do is I'll finish the recording, and in a minute or two I'll drop off, and so you can take the ball and run with it for 2 hours.
Isn't there someone in an hour or something? All the time's really weird after.
No. The station time did daylight saving, so it's not like there's
weird.
It's still a 24-hour day. It's not 23.
Really?
It's just now my show. Last week my show started at 5 p.m. and this week it started at 6 p.m. and it'll be that till March.
That was really weird today. I wasn't sure what was going on. I thought it was some kind of election special.
Well, technically it was, but the timing, I turned up at the right time. That's my point. So I'll do that again next week.
Did you do it on purpose?
Yeah. So you have been listening to Planet Collingwood Open Roundtable. It's been interesting, chaps and my ladies. We'll be back in 6 days and 22 hours here on Revolution Radio. If you enjoy the last 2 hours, please go to revolution.radio or freedomslips.com and donate what you can. Will be needed in the next couple of months because we actually played the president and basically saying it's a fraud and we're going to the courts. It's like, okay, yeah, it's not the end, it's the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where'd that come from?
Which bit?
What?
No, he did kind of say that. He kind of said,
he did
we're
say,
not going to accept any kind of last minute.
Talk about it in 3 minutes. So I've got to sign off. So
adieu. Pleasure as always, Monty.
Thank you very much. If you're listening on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share. And if you feel like donating to me, especially if you've got US currency, exchange rate's awesome. So yeah, $1 can buy me a pack of cigarettes down here.
Pounds are pretty sweet too.
Oh yes, exactly. Yeah,
like double.
We live in a shithole. Anyway, that was Planet Collingwood. We will be back later. I've been Monty Dean, and you've been awesome. I now hand you over to the wonderful Tones, not Tones, but Pones and Cortek. Anyway, Pony, take it away, my friend.